As you are aware, US President Donald Trump has chosen to impose 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and up to 10% and 60% on China.
Economic, we have big deficits with, as you know, with all three of them. It's a lot of money coming to the United States. As you know, we have about a $200 billion deficit with Canada.
As a result, his tariffs remain one of the most talked about issues on the global agenda. Trump had halted tariffs on Mexico and Canada. It is anticipated that the tariffs will go into effect on March 4th. Trump has brought up this date multiple times in recent weeks, and as it draws nearer, anxiety has grown, particularly in Canada. To mitigate the effects of the US tariffs, the Ottawa government had even looked to China and the EU, although it has been reported that Canadian officials recently revised their plans to ship some resources, such as liquefied natural gas, to China. The country's primary objective was to strengthen ties with Europe rather than trade with the United States. In recent years, Canada and Italy have frequently been mentioned together, and experts have claimed that the two nations are changing their economic dynamics. In fact, the European Union is reportedly surprised by Canada's ties with Italy. Italy was selected by Canada over the US. What's new regarding trade between Italy and Canada? What plan was Canada following with Italy to get around US tariffs? Please remember to subscribe to our channel before we examine the answers to all of these important questions together. Let's return to our primary topic first. It is important to remember that Italy is already well established in the Canadian market. When we examine Canada's food imports by exporting nations, we find that Italian agri-food products hold a significant position in the Canadian market, after the US and Mexico. This indicates that Italy is interested in the food sector and is positioning itself as potential alternative suppliers in the event that the US imposes trade restrictions and Canada decides to impose retaliatory tariffs against the US. In this sense, Italy has even overtaken France, with $1.5 billion in exports. In terms of recent trade with Canada, Italy comes in third place behind the US and Mexico. In the event of potential trade restrictions between the United States and Canada, the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, which is currently in provisional implementation, has reduced customs barriers on a large number of Italian agri-food products and has strengthened Italy's position in the food sector. In fact, if Ottawa diversifies its supply sources to lessen its reliance on the United States, it will further strengthen Italy's position in the food sector. Italian goods will gain even more. In turn, Canada might expand its market share and solidify Italy as a trustworthy trading partner at the moment. In fact, the two countries' relationship may be able to conceal the tensions and effects of US tariffs. While Italy's export share of intermediate and final unpackaged food products to Canada is relatively low, packaged food and beverages offer intriguing opportunities in specific segments where Italian exports are made. To verify this, we must examine Italy and Canada's trade network for 2024, which analyses the 2024 market shares of Italy and the United States in various sectors of the Canadian food industry. This reveals some key areas where Italy could strengthen its presence if Canada imposes tariffs on food imports from the United States. A comparison of the historical trends of Italian and US exports of alcoholic beverages to Canada reveals a consistent rise in Italian exports since the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement went into effect in 2017. Shares are comparable to those of the US and include alcoholic beverages, milk, yogurt, cheese, oil, rice, and pasta. In light of the growing instability in global trade dynamics fueled by Trump's tariff war, the Italian food sector could find growth opportunities in a strategic market like Canada by leveraging the tensions between Ottawa and Washington and capitalizing on the strong international reputation of Italian products. This growth has accelerated further over the last 2 years, indicating a position strengthened by the recognition of the quality and value of Italian wine products. Italian companies could respond to US protectionist policies by seeing these changes as a possible advantage and carefully considering alternative markets to the US for their exports, as they can increase their presence in the Canadian market. In this sense, Italy could also greatly strengthen its cordial ties with Canada. One thing that truly illuminates both nations is the roadmap for deeper collaboration between Italy and Canada. By defining and facilitating cooperative efforts and initiatives in areas of shared interest, this roadmap seeks to deepen the relationship between the two nations and demonstrates their dedication to working closely together to address global issues and advance sustainable prosperity. Let's now examine the balance of trade and investment between the two nations in greater detail. Global stability and the rule of law include the respective group of 7 presidencies in 2024 and 2025, with economies that complement one another and gain from the strength of small and medium-sized businesses. Italy and Canada enjoy a robust trade and investment relationship. Greater ambition and substantial growth prospects are possible in strategic industries like critical minerals, semiconductors, the e-mobility of aircraft, sustainable energy technologies, the life sciences. In order to achieve this, Italy and Canada are looking for ways to support even closer trade and investment ties. One such way is by encouraging institutional investors to share information with one another and investigating possible areas for collaboration and best practice exchange. Additionally, the two nations are dedicated to fostering stronger business relationships between small and medium-sized businesses, including through tangible programs like the CDP Business Matchmaking Platform, which was introduced in Canada in November 2023 and seeks to connect numerous Italian and Canadian businesses. Together with their African partners, Italy and Canada are dedicated to fostering equitable and sustainable economic growth that benefits all. They are looking for cooperative opportunities to further the 203 Agenda of Sustainable Development goals and enhance peace, development, and prosperity throughout the continent. These include initiatives to support sustainable food systems, access to high-quality healthcare and education, energy security, and physical and digital infrastructure assets. Although such measures are in line with Italy's Mate Plan for Africa, Canada and Italy are promoting increased collaboration between their respective development finance organizations, CAD Deposi ST and FEV. Canada's efforts to support the private sector in West Africa in the Group of 7 context, including the development of projects like the €150 million lending facility, given to the Bank West African DEVOP MCAD, deposits a lot of money. In order to improve their coordination and cooperation, Canada is collaborating with another group of 7 development finance institutions. Because of their close relationship with the European Union, the two nations also work together in the areas of security and defense. By spotting chances for cooperative efforts, such as in cybersecurity and the climate security nexus, and by maintaining the current collaboration between the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's Climate Change and Security Center of Excellence in Montreal and the Forward Land Forces Battle Group in Latvia, Italy, and Canada are advancing global security. Additionally, Italy and Canada are working together more to improve cybersecurity and high standards for cybersecurity safeguard customers and companies and lessen their susceptibility to cyber attacks. They are also working on regulatory measures, cyber capacity building projects, and international norms for responsible state behavior in cyberspace. Recognizing the growing transnational dimension of this phenomenon, Italy and Canada maintain close security solidarity in policing and combating organized crime. This solidarity is realized through the Memorandum of Understanding between the Italian Ministry of the Interior and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, as well as the current bilateral agreements on mutual legal assistance and extradition between the two ministries of justice. The two countries are also much closer in the context of the Group of 7 rapid response mechanisms on monitoring, analyzing, and countering artificial intelligence, LED threats of foreign information, manipulation, and interference and associated risks and opportunities. Additionally, the United Nations and current international police cooperation mechanisms like Interpol and Europol on energy have improved ties between the two nations. Additionally, Italy and Canada are remarkably united in their commitment to creating clean and renewable energy technologies that will advance their shared climate, biodiversity, trade cooperation, energy security, and other environmental goals, such as meeting the Paris 28 conference outcomes in accordance with the agreements made at Vanaria. Turin hosted the Group of Seven ministerial meeting on climate, energy, and the environment. Critical minerals are essential to meeting climate goals, and Italy and Canada want to help keep the 1.5-degree target within reach and pursue and support the clean energy transition. In particular, both nations continue to collaborate through international initiatives like the Powering Past Coal Alliance to drive global efforts to phase out existing uninterrupted coal power generation in energy systems in the first half of the 2030s. In accordance with the Group of Seven commitments made during the Italian presidency, Italy hopes to support the growth of bilateral economic, scientific, and technological cooperation in the field by joining the Alliance for Sustainable Critical Minerals. One of the most promising fuels for the transition to net zero emissions is hydrogen, and Italy and Canada continue to collaborate through multilateral forums such as the Critical Materials and Minerals Conference. On the one hand, Italy and Canada support the role of sustainable fuels, including sustainable biofuels, as part of a larger bioeconomy to decarbonize difficult-to-reduce SE and heavy-emitting substances. On the other hand, they support the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Italian Hydrogen Association and the Canadian Hydrogen Association, which will provide market advantages in the fields of hydrogen energy and fuel cell technology, aviation, maritime, and road industries. The two nations also maintain their cooperation through multilateral forums such as the Global Biofuels Alliance, the Clean Energy Ministerial, Biofuels Platform Mission Innovation, the International Energy Agency Bioenergy Technology Collaboration Program, the Global Bioenergy Partnership, and the Group of 20 Energy Transition Working Group, highlighting the importance of carbon management technologies in the shift to net zero. In other words, Italy and Canada have greatly strengthened their bilateral relations in the present period. In the future, both countries may begin to feel closer to one another in terms of trade, which could allow Canada to avoid the United States tax cuts that will be implemented in March, thanks to the bond that Canada will develop with Italy. Italy and Canada are committed to exploring opportunities for cooperation in the context of multilateral forums. In other words, the United States tariffs on Canada have given Italy a chance to seize the opportunities presented by the historic process. I appreciate you watching.